Please get ready for the passage. Sir, I rise to raise the voice of millions and millions of suffering people of our country. There has been a cruel attack on Aam Aadmi because of rising prices of almost all essential commodities. There has been relentless increase in the prices of food grains, edible oils and pulses. This rise is not a recent event, but what is a recent happening is that the food inflation has crossed 20%. This is the highest food inflation in 26 years, and that was why we have been demanding, the entire opposition demanded, that a discussion on price rise should be under the adjournment motion. We had discussed the issue of price rise earlier in the winter session. We had also discussed in the last August during the budget session, and we had discussed it in the 14th Lok Sabha at least 6 times. Because of the callous and casual attitude of the central government, there has not been any let up in regard to the rising prices of essential commodities. It is indeed a fact that there has been a reduction in the cultivable land to the extent of 6 lakh to 10 lakh hectares. It has an impact on our agricultural production. As you know, China has much less cultivable land than India, but their agricultural production is double than what we produce. Their agricultural production is double because of crop intensification. In order to increase agricultural production and in order to achieve 4% growth in food grain production, two schemes were started: the National Food Security Mission and subsequently the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. I am referring to the seriousness of this government towards agriculture and towards overcoming agrarian crisis. More than 2 lakh farmers have already committed suicide in our country. The crisis is being accentuated in our country in the agrarian sector. Sir, I would like to say that the galloping food prices have shattered family budgets across the country, with the latest inflation data showing that prices rose at around 20% continuously for the past 4 weeks. The main essentials of the Indian kitchens are almost beyond reach. Sugar is up by 60%, pulses by 46%, and potato by 53% over a year in a country already suffering from chronic malnutrition and low income. This trend is a killer. What is required is availability of food grains by channeling cheap food grains through a universal public distribution system. Along with that, biometrics may also be provided as quickly as possible to the vulnerable sections of the society so that one can monitor the release of food grains to the PDS at central level. When production goes down, definitely there is shortage of goods and demand will be more, and because of that the price increases. This is a simple theory of economics. Due to shortage in food production, prices are increasing. Why is there a shortage of food production in India? It is because the farmer is not given enough remunerative price. There is demand from the farmers that the minimum support price of rice, wheat, sugarcane, and other products be increased. That is what the farmers are expecting. Input costs of farm products are increasing, and the farmers are getting low income by selling their produce. That is why the farmers are not coming forward to cultivate more lands and produce more. That is why farm production is going down. Another issue which affects the price rise is inflation. I think inflation is more because of circulation of more money and maybe because of certain RBI policies. Illegal activities are going on in our country. Most of the counterfeit illegal money printed in Pakistan, China, and Nepal come to our country through various ways. This money is circulated among the people, which results in escalation of inflation. The money which people are getting through these means are invested in real estates. Poor farmer is tempted by the money. At one point of time, the cost of 1 acre was rupees 1 lakh, but because of the flow of illegal counterfeit money, the farmer is given 1 crore rupees and the farmer sells his land. This 1 crore of rupee may be spent by the farmer in due course of time, but this land was kept by the ancestors for the family, but because of flow of counterfeit money and the inflationary conditions, he is tempted to sell the land. Afterwards, he suffers. Therefore, the government should come forward with a new monetary policy to curb flow of illegal and counterfeit money. The point is as to what is the speciality of the price rise. The speciality of the price rise is that the mobile phones have become cheap but pulses have become costly. The railway travel has become cheap but the oil has become costly. The point is that all the commodities of mass human consumption, all that we need to survive, have become too costly, and it is the outcome of the total economic policy of the government. We argued that the Essential Commodities Act might be amended. Statistical jugglery is the greatest mystery in the world, not here in India only. What has been the effect? What has been the outcome? What has been the impact? How have the prices been contained? That is not the only issue. Today, food trade is the most profitable trade in the country. I am referring to the whole food trade. Therefore, I would like to suggest that there must be massive investment in agriculture. The government must expand irrigation, stop commercialization of land, stop diversion of land for non agricultural purposes, ensure remunerative price for the farmers, and set up a huge social infrastructure for the rural areas. Secondly, the government must stop speculation, stop commercialization, stop forward trading, and stop bank loan for food trade. Most importantly, I would suggest that the only solution is universalization of the public distribution system in the country. Lastly, I must tell you that the increased in the Maoist violence cannot be dealt with by the administrative machinery alone. As long as poverty lives, as long as unemployment remains, as long as hunger remains, as long as atrocities on the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes continue, Maoism will have its own breeding ground. Sir, we are against Maoist violence, but I must tell you that if you do not take care of price rise, if you do not take care of hunger, if you do not take care of food requirement, and if you do not take care of the unemployment problem, the country will be divided and the government will lose its vitality and lose its credibility, and we do not want you to lose your credibility.